All right. I am a little delayed. Well, there we go. I'll give everybody here a few minutes coming over from Beacon World. Let me get some tunes going. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was a little delayed there. Apparently, I updated Arch and didn't reboot, so my NVIDIA drivers were out of date. So OBS yelled at me that it couldn't use the hardware encoder. So luckily, I have a whole lot of cores because we're going software today. You have a meeting in 6 minutes, McCann. Jeez, priorities. All right, so the past week or so, we've been working on trying to learn Rust as best as we can. And I think yesterday we decided we're going to kind of abandon those things. And we're going to start building this project that I ultimately wanted to learn Rust for. Is the bot on? The bot is not on. So let's get the bot running. All right, the bot is on. McCann, you're enjoying Exorcism.io. Awesome. Let's make sure. There we go. We should have sounds now. So, are you doing Rust or are you doing another language for Exorcism? Do we not have? There we go.
Again, sir.
Okay.
How many years have you dedicated to achieve this level of mastery?
Over 15 years. Over 15 to fumble around with Rust. So if you weren't here yesterday, what we're going to create is
This yak is as smooth and pink as it's going to get, sir. Shall we move on?
So what we're trying to create is basically an Rtmp switcher and scheduler. We basically want this smart production software, and that's going to use an external scheduler to both schedule streamers in a linear manner as well as videos to fill. So effectively, say on Twitch or YouTube, we could have a linear video channel. So you would just stay watching the same stream and it would just keep switching over to a new video or a new streamer. And so what we want to do is we want to spin up individual Rtmp servers for each of our presenters. They're going to point their OBS at that. That's just going to sit there, and our switcher is going to go out and fetch over Rtmp their stream and push it out over whatever the output is when it's time for them to be live for the schedule. And when there isn't a streamer, we'll use the videos and playlists from the scheduler to decide to place things in there. And we'll have some kind of functionality where we could fall back. So if we have a backup recording of the streamer and their bitrate drops, we should be able to go find their video and seek to roughly the same spot in the video that they were in their stream, and then start playing from that point. And so that's sort of the idea here. And we're going to have our own use at Microsoft where I work for this, but I'm developing it completely open source, and we're going to release it for free so that conferences and things like that can use it, because there's a lot of online events, and this none of the services really do stuff like this. They give you this part, the output, but all of the production side of things just isn't there, and then they charge a ridiculous amount of money. So we're going to build it. We're going to release it for free. Any help, greatly appreciated. McCann says, I was regretting going mentored path, but the wait is worth it to get feedback on things I'm missing. Yeah, McCann, so that's actually my thought on it too. Some of those delays suck, but I like when they point out things in the standard library that I wasn't familiar with, and that's the invaluable part. I can look at the language reference and spec and things like that and get a rough feel for the language, but those idioms and things like that are learned through experience and code reviews and reading lots and lots of other people's code. What's in my OPSEC says, Eric, my people are interested in your Rtmp switcher. Would you be using NDI for this? When you say your people, who do you mean? And so NDI is actually run locally. So that would be, say, if I wanted to broadcast my laptop screen, I could capture it, send it over NDI on the local network, and then I could have, say, OBS on one of my towers here pick that up. So this will be this will run in the cloud. So this switcher will run somewhere out in the cloud and be able to do that. And we'll spin these up in containers out in the cloud. And effectively, that's what there we go. It's basically what this is, right? So this is an Nginx running with an Rtmp module, and it's also building an HLS manifest, and this player is just reading HLS. And so that allows us to preview what is coming through that Rtmp stream. So we're just basically going to put, this is in a container actually, so we're just going to spin up one of these for each of our streamers, and then our switcher is going to fetch it over Rtmp. Do you accept BTC? I don't currently. Was there a reason for BTC? For Bitcoin? We know he's legit because he uses Excalibur. So actually somebody just told me about that last stream. I forget who it was now. I'll let them claim credit for it. Azure will rule them all. Well, you can use this on any cloud or in on-prem. I happen to work for Azure, and I'm sure they will love you and me if you use it and you deploy it on Azure. But I just want to build cool stuff for people that solves problems and saves them money. So, you know, I'm not going to push you to use it on one particular cloud. Okay, so is everybody kind of up to speed on what it is that we're trying to build? Does anybody need to kind of be filled in on any of the technology? We did a little bit of a crash course on how video works with multiplexing into containers and transport streams and adaptive bitrate. I don't know how many people are on today that were on while we were talking about that at the end of my stream last time, but I'm sure most of them at the end of sitting for 4 hours with me probably wouldn't mind a second run through. So what's in my OPSEC? This will be completely cloud agnostic. This will have no ties to any individual cloud. Anything that needs to be wrapped up and deployed will be done in a containerized fashion. I need to learn the key bindings for that. Okay, so we ended the stream last time, and we can probably just kind of go over it a little bit again, looking at some of the examples of the GStreamer bindings for Rust, or the Rust bindings for GStreamer is probably the appropriate way to say that. We also talked a little bit about how GStreamer works. I'm happy to kind of repeat that if anybody needs kind of a crash course on that. But we'll look at a couple of the examples again. Source bin. So like if we look at this basic tutorial 1 as an example, we're just initializing our GStreamer. We've got this URL, which is that Rtmp server you saw me set up that I said was running in a container. We build a pipeline, and what is inside of this string is the same thing you would type on the command line if you were trying to do this. There's a reason we want to bring it into Rust, and that's because we want to dynamically change the pipeline. But if you just need to, say, take a video from locally and then, you know, transcode it to a different format or something and then send it somewhere, you could totally do this all completely from the command line. So what this is effectively saying is, if you're familiar with Linux terminology or Linux command line stuff, the exclamation point is their version of a pipe. That's how we're passing the output of this into the input of this. So we're taking a test source, which we'll look at what that looks like, pushing it through a queue so that we can buffer. The video convert is basically trying to find a shared format for it. Then we're running it through the software H.264 encoder, and then we're multiplexing it into an FLV container, and that comes from Flash, and that's what Rtmp uses as part of its transport. And then we're going to put a buffer on the other side of that, and then we're going to push it out to an Rtmp sync, and that sync has a property called location, which is that URL we already built. So then we have our pipeline, we set our state to playing, and then the pipeline is all initialized. And then this is basically a way for us to listen on the message bus for things coming in, and then we shut it down. So if we we should be able to look at target, debug, basic 1. Now, once we start streaming this, we can switch over to this, and in a second, the manifest file will catch up. And there's our video test source. So this whole process is essentially how Twitch works, or YouTube Live, or Facebook Live, is we're pushing Rtmp. We're using Rtmp to push an FLV container, which typically includes an H.264 encoded video and AAC or MP3 audio. And then at their end, they transcode it into multiple different resolutions and build an HLS manifest for it. And that's what the player uses. And we can go over that stuff a few times. I know it's confusing. I'm not an expert at it either, just been in the space for a while and am vaguely familiar with it. So I'm happy to kind of go over how any of this stuff works. I also just noticed the irony of the fact that I'm wearing a Go t-shirt and hoodie while coding Rust. Is it just historic that we use FLV in the middle of this? Yes, because Rtmp actually came from Flash. So in the beginning, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, when you wanted to do video streaming of any live event, you had Flash. Flash was the player, that's what played all of the stuff, and so that's where the Rtmp protocol came from. So the FLV container, which when I say container, AVI, right, MP4, MKV, that's a container, and not Docker. Super confusing. But yeah, so that's why that still exists. And if you want like a really crazy read or video, look at how the Rtmp spec is implemented. It's really, really weird. You've got the header kind of explaining, oh, well, this is a video packet, all of these things. Here's the length. Well, then there's also another packet type, which is the same as that one, but it's basically saying like, hey, it's also a video packet, so we're going to leave out the video packet header. It's basically like a way of saying, copy that data from the header of the last packet. And that was like their way of trying to like reduce bandwidth required to stream. Is there any movement to use something newer, or really any reason to do that? I'm trying to think of the new one that everybody's talking about. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. I'm losing my train of thought. There's, the container isn't as important. So there is a new protocol people are trying to look at for doing the low latency streaming, and I'm losing it. MKV you see a lot as like people use it for a lot of video editing and stuff like that to store. But the container isn't as important, right? Because ultimately we can take something. So as an example, if I have an FLV container, right? I'm taking my stream, I encode it in AAC for the audio and H.264 for the video, and then I stick it in an FLV container and I send it over Rtmp, right? Well, now in order, if I don't need any new bit rates, if I want to deliver it over HTTP using like HLS and an MPEG transport stream, I actually don't have to encode anything. I just basically pull out those streams from that container and stick them in a new container. Thanks for the sub, Bifane. So that is actually really, really efficient, and it's exactly what this thing is doing. This has to do no encoding, so it doesn't even need like one CPU unit. I forget what specs I'm running this in, but it doesn't even have a gig of RAM and one CPU unit, because it's not a lot of work to actually repackage it in a new container. Yeah, so a container is really just how you multiplex the things together, right? You have multiple audio channels, multiple video channels, maybe like maybe you have like WebVTT in there for subtitles, and those are all kind of individual streams that are inside of this one thing. So that container is just how you package those things together. They're multiplexed together inside of that. So yeah, And, you know, there's a little bit of figuring stuff out because some containers will support some encodings, some of them won't. So if you went over this yesterday, I wasn't here. This is pretty interesting to me. Let me see if I can pull up the links that I sent everybody. If you want like a lot more detail about how some of this stuff works, and this will go deep on video and things like that. This is a really cool intro, and this has some stuff too. So if you really get into kind of how all of this stuff works, that's perfect. I can make some book recommendations too. But yeah, this stuff's really cool. I also did a talk about a thing that I did with Kubernetes back when I worked at Comcast for doing video multiplexing and streaming around the country. And I walk through how that works. It's actually really interesting how that stuff works and how your cable box actually works a lot more like the radio in your car than anything. Historically, newer boxes are actually doing IP television, so they're consuming content the same way you are through Netflix or Hulu or YouTube, which is all HLS or MPEG-Dash or Smooth, one of these like adaptive bitrate technologies, so that everything is cached on a CDN. And that's basically how everything's being delivered. So RTMP is extremely low latency. Getting things from my OBS to Twitch is very, very efficient, but it doesn't scale as well as far as like many viewers connecting to watch it. So as well as you don't have multiple bitrate options. So what happens is it gets transcoded to multiple bit rates. All of those small 2 to 6 second segments are stored and then put in a manifest file. And then the player goes out, asks for the manifest file, and then we'll start pulling those segments in order. And then what happens is if it can't keep up, its internal buffer starts running out. What it'll do is it'll go back out to the manifest file, look for a lower resolution, and then start grabbing those segments and playing those, all in the interest of like preventing buffering from happening. So what'll happen is that's why if you're ever watching like Netflix or Hulu or YouTube, you'll watch your video get slightly blurry for like 2 to 6 seconds. Sometimes longer if it's more than one segment, but that's exactly what's happening. Some little network hiccup, the player wasn't able to pull in enough data, so it went out and fetched a lower resolution in order to keep the video playing. I'm dropping frames? Is that what you're saying? Let me look. Or are we just talking about how that stuff, how the players work? I can't tell. Let me know if I'm dropping frames. I may need to reboot just to get my hardware encoder back. No, just okay, just commenting. All right. Yeah, I was just concerned because typically I've got a GTX or RTX 2080 Ti in here that's usually doing all of the work of encoding my stream, but just before I went live, it yelled at me that I couldn't do that. I needed to reboot because of my NVIDIA drivers. So let's see. And we still got a little room. They're working hard, but did you set up the NVIDIA Pac-Man hooks? I did. So what happened was I ran my update, but I never rebooted. So currently in my current state, I'm running one Linux kernel, but I had just installed the new kernel and I haven't rebooted yet. So that was my bad. But we seem to be doing okay. I wish I had remembered to reboot because it would be nice to be doing all of that on the GPU, especially being this entire stream we're going to be doing encoding of another stream. But such is life. Okay, so keep the questions coming. I'm happy to talk about all of this stuff and how video works, at least, you know, my understanding of it and the small knowledge of it that I have. Wait, what director am I in? Oh, we need to remember to set our, we need to remember to set our package config. I worked on too much stuff. Where is it? Here, we'll just try and... What directory am I in? Am I in the parent? Yeah. So... Oh, maybe I still have it set. No, I don't. Package. Nope. Sorry, we just have to find this really quick. There is a plugin that did not come as part of this. There we go. I'm gonna just put this in the just so we don't forget. All right. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't show up in Z history. Okay. So now we should be able to cargo build this stuff. So let's take a look at like another more detailed example of what this is. And then we can start looking at, we'll start looking at how we're going to start implementing things. Also, if everybody wants like a quick preview of what I started working on for the front end of this Rtmp switcher, what the production person might see, I can run that. We can look at it. Why wouldn't stick reference Streamception? All right. Actually, I think it was Rockerboo who was mentioning I should stream this to an Rtmp server first, then forward it to Twitch so that we could also listen in on this Rtmp stream and send that through the switcher. That would be Streamception. Okay, I've been looking into Rust. What is a good IDE to get started with learning it? I'm fairly new to Rust. I just started learning it within the last week or two. I'm still a very, very baby beginner Rust person. I'm hoping building this that I will get significantly better. I have a coworker who is like, he's like I am with Go, but the Rust person. As I get further with this, either on this stream or his stream, we'll have him jump on with me in code review and make suggestions for what we should do. So IntelliJ Rust is good. Yeah, VS Code. I see a lot of people using VS Code with the Rust Analyzer plugin. Vim as well. Okay. So now let's look at... oops. And Rockerboo, are you ready for like lots of failures? Because I'm running all of the newest stuff that Tej has been working on. So, all right, what is this delay that we get when I go to start this up? So weird. Okay. So this is like kind of building up from the last one. So the last example, we we just built the entire pipeline from the same command we would have ran on the command line. Now what we're doing is we're splitting those things up. We're creating a variable that's going to hold a source element, and it's a video test source, which is the same thing we saw before that was generating kind of like those rainbow columns and static, the snow. So then we have an auto video sync, and an auto video sync is going to try to just find some way to play locally, you know, SDL or something to be able to play the video, just sort of in a smart way. Then we build our pipeline, we add our elements to the pipeline, then we link our sync to our source. We're setting a property on our source, that video test source, telling it we want the SMPTE pattern to play. And then same thing, we're starting our pipeline, and we're just looking for messages, and we shut down. Okay, and there we go. Everybody with me so far? Because now we're going to step it up a notch. Now we're going to go to basic 3. So now we're going to, so in the concept of GStreamer, we have elements. And so we have a source element, and that has one pad, and a pad is where you can make a connection, like a wire, right? So it provides some sort of data that's going to float out its source pad. Then we have filters, and filters have source pads and sync pads, and there can be any number of them. So data comes in on the source pad and out on the sync pad, right? And then we have a sync element, and a sync element would be some sort of output. This could be writing to a file, it could be RTMP, RTSP, etc. And so that has a sync pad. So what we're doing is making connections between these things. So the first thing we're doing is this URI decode bin source element. What it does is it takes a URL, it could be our, you know, the same RTMP one, and then it figures out based on that, if we do a GST inspect RTMP source, it determines based on the URL that this is the source element that we need. Okay. Audio convert, we're just converting between types. And then we've got our audio sync, which is going to try to find locally a place to run this. And then we have a resample filter that's just going to resample the audio at a different sample rate. So we add all of those elements to the pipeline. We link the ones together that we know, right? Because convert is going to have a sync on this side, which we don't know what it is yet. And then it's going, or a source. It's going to have a sync on this side that we're going to connect to resample on its source. On resample sync, we're going to send to the sync pad here. Okay. Next, we take our URI, which is just grabbing a WebM file. We're setting the property on the source so that it knows what the URL is. And now we get into sort of like these callbacks that happen as the pipeline gets started up. The pipeline starts up, reads this URL, tries to make sense of it, and then generate whatever source. So we're just outputting what source type we found, and then we're grabbing the sync pad on the convert element, checking to see if something is already linked to it, because we can't link to it twice. Now here the reason we're getting these caps is really so that we can get this. So that we can get the structure and we can get its name. So now we're checking to see whether it's the audio X raw as far as the pad type, because we want to ensure that we're talking to an audio pad. And then if all of those conditions are met, then we take our source pad and we link it to our sync pad. And then we start up our pipeline. And then same thing, we're just listening to our message bus. Okay, so let's see. This is only playing the audio. So I'm gonna turn this down just in case this is loud. And there we go.
What brings you to the land of the gatekeepers?
Initialization? What are we talking about, Punchy? Okay, so I think that if we were to start with kind of one of these sample bits of code as our starting point, this is probably the closest because I think we do want to control all of the components. However, we do have a problem with this, and that is that we have no video. So we need to maybe refactor this a bit, and we'll start there. Let's just use this basic tutorial 3 example here, and maybe we'll move this over into our own code base. Okay, yeah, let's do that. What do you mean about the initialization and compression? Oh wow, I don't think our alerts are working. Thank you so much for the follow, Ekton Dev and Hans Roman and Seth. Seth, welcome, welcome, welcome. And thanks for the follow, Matt the Fisher. I haven't heard any of our sound effects. All right, we lost our sound. Okay, so let's go create a new project directory here. And we're just gonna call this switcher for now. We'll move it. Well, it would be what? No. Cargo new bin switcher. Is that right? Haha, I remembered. All right, and let's copy over this GStreamer RS tutorial source bin 3, and we're just gonna call that main.rs here. All right. Oh, we should figure out what this is. So they are pulling in some sort of tutorials common thing. Let's just go make sure there's nothing there that we need. Code, GStreamer, RS, tutorials, source. There we go. What is in that? Some sort of run loop? Do we need all this? I don't think we need all this. We'll leave this open for now. Let's just see if we can get this reworking completely outside of that path. All right. Look like FFI for macros? Maybe. All right, we need this dependency. And this is, I always forget the format of this. I can't wait till, like, I have Rust under my fingers enough where I don't have to look up, like, the syntax of basic things, like, that's not right. Of like dependencies and things like that. Let's see. Where's our dependencies? There we go. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. Okay. And what version of GStreamer RS was this? That doesn't say. GStreamer RS. Let's go look at crates. I forget what post office was. Somebody just sent that to me and on a previous stream, and I don't even remember what that was. V016.2. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's just called GStreamer. Repo name doesn't align. Okay, there we go. We are writing code, Rocker Boo. We're just gonna wing it. I feel like with the exorcism stuff, I'll still do some of that stuff on my own. But I feel like the last couple of streams, we've spent more time on the brain teaser part of the problem and less time learning new Rust language constructs. So I think we're just gonna wing it. We're gonna work on this, and when we bump up into things, we'll pull up the book and any other sort of Rust by example type things and figure out that as we go. And I'm gonna lean on all of you who know Rust better than I do to help me when I'm doing dumb things. You have the ability to get my attention too. Okay, so how do we have hello world there? Are we in the wrong directory? Because oh, I'll bet you I put this in the wrong place. Yeah. Move main into source. Cargo build. Is there just a cargo run? Does that work? What am I missing? I don't know what's going on with mvim here. I blame Tej. It's all your fault, Tej. Stop closing it. So this is right. So why is it not rebuilding? Oh, there we go. Thanks for the follow, J-Hug and Temin. I want to know where our alerts are. Are they showing up on screen and we just don't have audio? Is that the issue? As in, what's cargo watch? What's the difference between that and a cargo run?
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
There we go. You're just slipping, Rocker Boo.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
All right. We're working. So now we have that. Let's see if we can get video playing. So first thing we need to do is we're going to skip past the Rtmp side of things because we're going to want to swap. We're going to build basically a mixer in the middle so that we can swap out inputs and outputs. So for now, we're just going to build a working pipeline, and then we'll try and stick a mixer in the middle so that we can swap things out. So let's go ahead and name this one audio sync. And we'll do it here too, because then we're going to take this. What are you doing? I'm going to try this. Kill all Rust Analyzer. Nope, that's not what's lagging me out either. You're trying to work with the plugin telescope thing? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that come along too. If you all have not seen that, oh, I'm having some weird issue with it too. Okay, I was going to show off a cool thing Tej has been working on. It's broken. That's because Eric likes to check out stuff from repos before it's ready and use it. Okay, so let's go to our auto audio video, or our auto audio sync, and we're going to do an auto video sync for now. And we're going to call that video sync. I'm going to group these together. Resample. You can also tell it to run a command after the build, like cargo watch run. Cargo watch catches for changes, then attempts to rebuild when it detects one. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right, so here's our video sync. And we are going to need to... What am I thinking of here? We're going to need to look at... we need a way of demuxing these, and I am new to GStreamer as well, so you have to bear with me as I look around too. What am I looking for here? Let's back up to here. I've done this on the command line too, and it's funny. You turn on a stream, and then you just sort of blank on stuff that you know. That's how we mux it. Is the decode bin gonna give us a video? Let's check. Okay, so we're just gonna leave this here for now, the video sync. And what we can do here is we can come down here and... Oh, so we're already printing out when we find a pad. So let's see, cargo run. Oh. I keep changing directories. That is one thing I like about Go, is how fast the compiler is. I mean, Rust's compiler is pretty good, but why are you hanging? Oh. We renamed that, so where we add it to our pipeline here, and where we link it. Yeah, there's something going on with my Vim config here. Is it Rust Analyzer? I almost killed... Nope, see, there it is. I have the feeling it's something Rust Analyzer related. My computer hates me today. Alright, what are you complaining about? If this unused very... Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so Here we can see that we received pad source 0 from source. It has type video X raw, which is not audio ignoring. Okay, that's fine. So this is exactly what we want. So now what we can do is we have our video sync here, our auto video sync, which is just going to find a way on our local host to play this. So what we need to first do is we need to add our video sync to the pipeline. Okay. And we're not going to link it yet. What are you doing with the saves here? I'm going to see whether if I disable the Rust Analyzer stuff, whether we can fix this. Something's not right here. All right. Here, I'll do it so that I can see it in chat. All right. We got Rockerboo and Tej debugging here. I turned that off, which I thought was the issue. That's there for later. Last you heard, yeah, Tej is here. I've been playing with the stuff he's been working on, all this new telescope and LSP stuff. So I'm just gonna disable that for the moment, and let's see what happens. I feel like it's something that I have for like an autosave too. Oh, Tej is mostly lurking. But yeah, he's been working on it. It's been some really cool stuff, but I totally expected for there to be weird little bugs, right? Like I'm using something that's in active development. What do you mean, what about my commands? Yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking. Hold on, let's do that. Let's see what I broke. Ooh, what is going on here? All right, so this is all. Is it prettier? I don't think prettier has anything for Rust. Let's see. Is it the rust.vim plugin maybe? Because I don't think I noticed this problem in anything other than Rust. So let's try and just disable that for now. I'll have to mess with this later. Is that gonna mess up my syntax highlighting for Rust? All right, let's see. Yep. It's something in that rust.vim. Okay, so we should be good now. I hope. Okay, where were we? Oh, right. Okay, so down here, we've got our callback happening, which is letting us know when we receive a new pad. So we do have a check here. This is only for that. So we're going to need to do a switch first. Let's figure out. So this code here is specific to that particular filter and pad. So we're going to leave this. Get current cap. Okay, so this is our new pad that we've found. and we're getting its name. Okay. So here we're checking if it's audio. And then we are doing that. Okay, so this is really where that logic should exist. So at this point, we're going to find out what the type of the pad is first. And then I guess at this point, we can say if is audio. Okay. Let me come up here. I guess we probably don't even need this. Yeah, let's just if. Okay, so now we've got if it starts with if the pad type name starts with AudioX raw. Okay, then we are going to check to see if it's linked. We're already linked. Okay. What's an RTMP switcher, Quinquin? Quinquan, do you know, are you familiar with what RTMP is? So RTMP is a protocol for transmitting for transmitting media, so video, audio, things like that, over the internet. So if you've ever streamed live on Twitch or Facebook Live or YouTube, then you're using RTMP. The video and everything is encoded and sent over RTMP to their servers, where it's transcoded into other segments and delivered over HTTP using a variety of other technologies we discussed a little earlier. So what an RTMP switcher is it will allow you to have multiple RTMP feeds where people are streaming to, and then we'll basically be able to switch them. So if you think about like a video switcher where you might have like multiple HDMI cables coming in and then one output, and you press a button to switch between them, that's what we're effectively building, but we're building a virtual one for, internet streaming. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. And this needs to go up here. All right, let's just review this really quickly just to ensure we didn't mess anything up. What's amazing, Punchy? Okay, so we get our call back. We have discovered a new source pad. We do some magic, get the name of it. If it starts with audio XRAW, then we know it's the audio pad. So then we look at our convert element to see whether its sync pad has already been linked. If it has, we're going to return early. If it has not, we are going to attempt to link it. Perfect. Okay, so with any luck, what we should be able to do now is redo a cargo run on this, and it should still work. Have I ever got lagging when typing, when coding? Yeah, I mean, it depends on what I'm doing. You know, there's often times where I have a lot of stuff running on my system that's chewing up all my CPU, sure. Or sometimes where you get like a runaway process, or even just now you saw some plugin is behaving poorly in my editor and causing it to lock up. So sure, it happens. Okay. This says it succeeded, but I don't hear it. Did anybody else hear it? No. So we broke something. What did we break? Says we received each of these, okay, and it said the link succeeded. What did I miss? Yeah, we're currently chewing up some CPU on this thing, for sure. Because I was an idiot and updated my kernel and didn't restart, so OBS cannot use my NVIDIA card to do the encoding. So we are chewing up some CPU like crazy just doing the encoding for my stream going to Twitch. So lesson learned. It shows 32 cores. I have 2 Xeons, each with 8 cores and hyperthreading. And I am lucky I have that because OBS is doing a number on those. Okay, so that says it's linked, so why did we not get sound out? All right, let's just take a look at the example we're basing this off of. Tutorials, source bin, basic 3. Oops. I meant vsplit. Oh, you've never had an issue with the software encoding? Okay, so let's look here. The fact that we created a new element type and we added it to our pipeline should not be an issue at all. So our issue really is here. All right, so we get it. We're just logging. This is just checking if it's linked. Oh, you wish. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had too bad of luck with the GPU encoder, but. Okay, so this is all right. So why are we not getting audio? What did we break? So we're doing the same thing. We're just logging this out. So Twitch, so obviously partners and affiliates and things like that, there's like tiered, who gets access to the encoders, but your computer still needs to encode your video and audio to send it efficiently over the network to Twitch for them to transcode it into other qualities. Yeah, so partners I think are guaranteed encoders. Affiliates get higher priority. And I think it's based on your viewership, kind of who gets encoders after that. But yeah, you're not guaranteed an encoder. So where are we going wrong here? Because this looks right. And we see it says that it's connected.
Sir, maybe technology's not your strong suit. Perhaps a career in professional sandwich artistry?
That sounds about right about now. All right, let's try this. I feel like I should use a match statement here, but bad from, okay. So now we should be able to copy all of this here. And we might be able to clean this up a little, but like, let's just get it working first. All right, so our sync pad. Where were we going? All right, if it's a video, then we need the video sync, and we want to grab the sync pad off of it from video sync. Okay. We're going to check to see if it's linked. We're already linked. Ignore. Here is our source pad. We're going to link that to our sync pad. Okay, I think that'll work. Which one? The one that I just ordered? I feel like I'm fighting my hardware for the compiling. Oh, there we go. It works. It works.
What brings you to the land of the gatekeepers?
Okay, so oh, there we go. I thought my sound crashed. Yeah, the Moonlander I am like ridiculously excited about. Can we get it to switch streams? You mean like on the fly? That's what we're working to. So now we're gonna kind of just create some messy code, and then we'll clean it up. I promise. I think I said that about my bot too, and I think the code is probably still messy. Okay, so we have a couple of options. So we can work on trying to figure out whether we can do some sort of mixer thing first. If you want to send me a video, as long as it's safe for work, we can use that for the stream. Yeah. The Pretzel Rocks app has been crashing for me a lot lately. Okay, so actually let's do this. Let's oh, wait, we already have this logic because I modified the other one. Source bin, is it 1? 2. 2. No. 1. I already modified this one. Here we go. So we could just take this here. And let's just say, we'll put it up here. And we're going to call this Rtmp URI. And this is just our thing where I have this container running out in Azure that that's Rtmp Nginx, or Nginx with an Rtmp module. And so now what we want to do is we want to change our auto video sync. Actually, let's comment this out, because what we're going to do too is we have the ability to also tee the output, which means that we can send it to more than one place. And so let's do this first. All right, so we'll change this to an Rtmp sync, and then we need we have to set the property on it for the URI. Where is it? Oh, it's just filling it in there. So we need this, except we also need to set it on our sync, video sync. We're going to set the URI property to Rtmp URI on Rtmp sync. Is that going to work? Yeah, it has an ARM CPU and it's open source. That's actually one of the things that I was like really into the idea of. I've got the bot here. There isn't a lot of people playing with it, but the lights and everything are all controllable from the bot and everything. But I plan to do a lot more stuff where everybody can mess with my windows and black out the screen and send random keystrokes to Vim and whatnot. We spent a little while working on the bot. I need to do maybe next week I'll stream sometime at night and work on the bot. All right. Threadmain panic can't set URI property on Rtmp Sync. Property URI not found. Okay, so here's what we do. We do a GST inspect on the Rtmp Sync, and then we're going to look for what the property is called. Async. Location is the name of it. See here? And GST inspect is the best way to look at elements and figure out what types of pads they have, as well as the formats, because even audio and stuff like that, you'll see the data type that's passed between the elements can differ. They try to auto-negotiate one. Sometimes you may want to specify what that format is, and sometimes you might have to run them through a convert plugin first to get there. Okay, so location, and this is what happens with open source. Everybody creates their things and doesn't keep consistent names, but that's okay. Oops. Blocking, waiting for file lock. OBS must like be just really chewing up my TPUs here. Oh, once this is running, I can also show you the front end that I started working on too. Okay, so in theory, can I talk about GStreamer? Sure. Is it not going there? Can I fix all your telescope? I mean, at the rate it's taking now, I mean, I might have time to fix all that stuff. To learn Lua, learn how to write Vim plugins, and fix all of those, all before it's done compiling. Okay, so this doesn't appear to be doing what we thought it would. Oh, wait a second. Oh, we're screwing this all up. Everybody. You let me screw this up. So okay, before I fix this, who was it? Quinquan wanted a chat about GStreamer. Okay, so I already have something up for it. Let's just look for the GStreamer. I know the wiki page has a good diagram. Okay. Boo. I don't want to look at... Let's see. Is my dark reader off? Alright, we're going to have burned eyes for a second. Okay, so the way GStreamer works is basically like a pipeline system. So we have a bunch of elements, and the pipeline itself is actually considered an element, which gets slightly confusing. But so pipelines are composed of elements, and elements are either sources, sinks, or filters. So a source only has one pad, and let's see if we can pull up like a picture of a GStreamer pipeline to give you an example of. Here we go. So we can see here this file source has a source pad, and this demuxer has a sync pad because things flow into it, and then it has two sources on this side. And so this is splitting up the audio and video and putting them on these two pads. And then we have another decoder filter. Anything that has sinks and sources is a filter. So this is going to, on its sync, because the data is flowing this direction, is going to decode the Vorbis video. And then the source is going to provide it to the audio sync. You're going to raise your child. I mean, your child may be off to college before this, before the compiling is done. I mean, if it was Go, then it would be faster. Yeah, so I actually heard about, there was one of the GStreamer core members was talking about some sort of project with finding life in space or something where they used this pipeline. They just wrote all of their own sources and filters and stuff, but they used all of the pipelining stuff, logic, and command line things provided by GStreamer. So you could use this for things other than audio and video. But I like this because it fits our use case really well. We could have done this in FFmpeg. It probably would have been a lot more difficult trying to layer this stuff out. I like the idea of swapping out these pads and things. I just sort of feel like this pipelined approach is going to make this much easier, especially when we start talking about, well, let's put a T here. That way we can send it to multiple places or things like that. So here's where we messed up, everybody. So I was not paying attention, and neither were you, so it's your fault too. So my code is one of the steps. No, so if we look at this example 1 here, what you see inside this string is what you could have ran on the command line. So to assemble the pipeline. So my code is manually through a code API creating this pipeline. Sorry. What's it saying again? Something like any sufficiently complex system can itself be used for general computation. Yeah. Okay. So here's where we messed up. We created this video sync. However, there's a problem here. This video sync requires Rtmp or requires an FLV container, which is not at all what we did, right? So if we look at our example here, see how we have this FLV mux here? So we need to, sorry, been streaming a lot more this week than normal, so just losing my voice. So we need to create this FLV mux element. And so let's just go ahead and let's call that FLV mux. FLV mux. I feel like I need to write some snippets for this, that we're going to do this enough. Okay, so here's our FLV mux. And so what I need to do is we're not going to use this audio sync right now. Okay, so what we need to do now here is, let's see, we're going to bring in our FLV mux instead. And then here where we send it to the audio sync, we're going to link it to the FLV mux. And then we also need to link our FLV mux to our Rtmp Sync. Is that what I called it? No, video sync. Okay, is everybody following along? So this is adding all of these elements to the pipeline, but we're not quite specifying how they connect to each other. In this case, we have our audio convert filter connected to our resample filter, connected to the audio pad on our FLV container mux, then we're saying also to connect our FLV mux to our video sync. So now we need the other side of it, right? We need to connect the audio from whatever's discovered from that URI decode bin to this convert, which ultimately flows down to the FLV mux. And then we need to connect our video pad to the video pad on the FLV mux. And then we should get everything. So here we have this. So that's okay. That should still be the same. And now for our video, we need to connect it to our FLV mux. FLV mux. And now let's try again. This compile time's driving me nuts. If I wasn't streaming, I would so reboot my computer right now. Ooh, okay, what'd we get? Failed to get static sync pad from video sync. Line 86. So this is not working the way we thought it would. So let's do a GST inspect on the FLV mux and let's see what we have for pads. What were you trying to do? Get static pad sync. Okay. So, this is video. If I had an Rtmp switcher, it wouldn't be so bad. This is true. This is true. I could just play a video for you. I could just record myself explaining how all of this is going to work and then just play that and it would just seem seamless. Okay. Failed to get static sync pad from FLV mux on line 86. Is it not a static pad? Oops, what am I missing here? And the crazy thing is I've built this before. I have the sample code somewhere. I just have to find it. Nope, pad source. Oh, I think we do need that streamable true as well. But why? All right, what are we missing? I'm sure that I have done this before. Now I'm trying to remember how that worked. Anybody work on projects like this where you try and build something in a library you've never used surrounding technology you're not an expert on? Yeah, in a language you're just learning. So we're getting our audio. Our audio seems to work. Well, let's remove our audio. Let's remove our video really quick and just see whether our audio is working. I think this is the longest my lights have not been pink. That's actually not very red. I think we need to find a new color code for that. Okay, so that's running. Let's go see whether... Okay, so this is still not making its way there. Let's see, I want to see what the manifest file looks like. Okay, so the stream hasn't even started, so we don't even have a manifest file for it. It's also quite possible... I don't even know what the encoding is on all of this stuff. We might need to actually... We might need to build out that entire pipeline. I don't know what the encoding or anything is on this WebM file that we're dealing with. Oh, wait a second. Your ID code bin. Yeah, so that's that WebM. Alright, let's do this. Let's take a video test source first and try and get that working. Yeah, I think 1 works a lot better. So the colors are between 0 and 65,000, and then there's a couple of hard-coded colors that we've put in there. Let's see, go, up code, EricBot dev, modules, hue. So these are the couple of hard-coded ones we have in there. If you can find a color you like and you want to name it, then we can add it to our color map. But so far, these are the only ones we found and kind of put in there. Elite. I like it. Okay, so we're missing something obvious here. Let's do this. Let's copy this over. And what we're going to try and do now is let's just try to recreate this entire pipeline by manually creating the elements. And so I'm gonna leave this here. I look like I work for Evil Corp, Microsoft. Why are they an Evil Corp? I get to sit here and do this and get paid for it. That doesn't sound evil to me. We're building this thing and giving it to everybody. Okay, I'm just thinking here. Judgment. It's the internet. You have to have judgments. Yeah, let's simplify this. Let's just try to get this let's just try to get this test source going. No, let's leave that. Okay, so we've got our FLV mux and our... Yeah, we're gonna still call it V. Okay. So now we've got our FLV mux and our video sync. So let's go piece by piece. So we need a video test source. Okay. So we're gonna use this. All right, so video test source. Okay. And then we need a Q and a Q video convert and X24 encoder. Okay. Let's call this, because we've got two Qs, so let's name them. So we've got the Q at the source and then the Q at the sync. Okay. So we'll call this Q source. Yeah. Q source. And then a convert, right? Is that what it was? Video convert. I need to find my sample code that I did for this. Because the crazy thing is I spent a while and got all of this working. And then I think I backed up my stuff. Because I was gonna clean it all up. Alright, video convert. Okay. So now we have our video convert. And then we need an H.264 encoder. Alright. And then we'll just call this H.264 encoder. And this is X264. I always forget what the software version is. So we can, if we compile it correctly, we can use the hardware encoder later if we want to. But for now, we're just going to stick with the software encoder. And X264 encoder. Okay, then we have our FLV mux. Okay, perfect. And I have some spam caller calling me. Every time Eric says that Microsoft isn't evil on stream, he gets a bonus. I wish. But no, I mean, Microsoft is doing really, really awesome stuff and doing a ton of stuff in the open source world. There's a whole team of us that get to work full-time on open source work. Okay, so we need to connect all these things. All right, so we need to add source. Let's just remove all of this. So we have our source, then we need our Q. We need to add our Q here. Source. Then we need our video convert. Video convert. Then we need our X264 encoder. And then we need our FLV mux. Okay. And then, oh, we forgot a queue because there is another queue at the end of this before we go into the sync. So we need here. And here we're going to call this queue sync. Queue sync. Queue sync. Besides Teach, everybody knows open source programmers who work on MVim. That's where you make the Lambo money. Do I have a typo? Video convert. Oh, yep. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay. Later, Teach. Okay. Oh, so we also need to add our the next queue that we added. So now we need our queue sync. Okay. Now we need to start linking stuff. Do we need all this? I think we can link most of these things automatically, right? Yeah, because we know what all of these are, so we should be able to just do I'm just going to copy everything for now, and then we'll look at it. Source can connect to the queue source, video convert. Yeah, so we should be able to do all of this automatically, which is going to not use that whole linking setup that we had below. Doing build process stuff today. At least my build is faster than Rust compiling. I have the feeling my Rust compiling. I have a feeling that my Rust compiling has a lot to do with my CPUs just being chewed up by encoding for the stream. QSync error messages. Oh, right. Okay. So if we run this, in theory, this should work. We might get some errors because we've got a bunch of stuff going on down here that we didn't really need, right? Because basically all of this is also not being used. We probably should have commented that out. Yeah. Does anybody here work in video? Just out of curiosity. This is just wild with the compile time. Could not create URI decode bin element. Line 33. URI decode bin should not be. Oh, it's a Q source. Q source. You have a passion for cinema? Okay, so what's our error here? Failed to create element from factory name. Did we name it wrong? Oh, because I named it Q source here and Q sync here. That's not the name of it. That's the name of our individual element. And now we wait 5 minutes for it to compile again. Rookie mistake. I know, McCann. If it was you doing it, we know these types of mistakes would never happen. I don't even know what I'm doing on stream anymore. You guys are going to fire me next week. Okay, so we got to the point where we tried to start our pipeline. And so now we have a data stream error. Reason not linked. Source streaming stop not linked. So we missed something. All you do is rookie mistakes. So I have this, let's see if we can find the image on Google. Junior versus senior. Here we go. Except I've always just seen it programmer. Junior developer versus senior developer. You still make the same stupid mistake, you just do it in a more glorious fashion. Okay, so we're missing a component that's not linked because we have to have data flow. So if we don't have data coming into our pipeline or somewhere in the line it breaks, a GStreamer will basically yell at us. So we missed something. So let's see. Our source is connected to our Q source, which is connected to our video convert, which is connected to our X264 encoder, which is connected to our Q-Sync, and then our FLV. What am I missing? Test source, Q, video convert, X264, FLV, Q, Rtmp. Let's bring this down. Insanity check here. Okay, so source is in the pipeline, Q source is in the pipeline, video converts in the pipeline, X264 is in the pipeline, FLV mux. Ooh, there's our issue. Well, so in this particular call, they don't have to be in order. This is just adding them, but I like having them there because it allows me to catch stuff like this. So there's the FLV mux first, then a Q, and then our Rtmp sync, which we can see is missing. So video sync, right? And so this is technically in the wrong spot though, right? Because we want our X264 encoder, then we want the FLV mux, and then we want the Q-Sync, and then we need our Rtmp, which is why that just blew up on us. And now another 10 minutes. What shall we talk about while it compiles? Your meeting's done? What time of day is it there for you, McCann? Do you have like enough time for a productive day, or is it the end of your workday? Okay, let's see. Unable to set the pipeline to playing, state change error. Ooh. Well, that's no bueno. And that is not a very helpful error message either. Oh, nice. So you're on the East Coast like me. So where are we going wrong here? I'm going to copy this back down again for a sanity check. Okay. So, well, let's also look here to make sure. We have a video test source that we're calling source. We have a Q that we're calling Q source. A video convert that we're calling video convert. X264 encoder. Okay. FLV mux. That's a Q. It's an Rtmp sync. Okay. We might need to set that property too, right? Set. Let's go into is just set property. Okay. So I think one thing that we do need to do is set we do need to take our video sync and call set property on it and set streamable to true. I don't know if this is... Oh, set property from str. That's what we want. Okay. So that's one thing we need to do. I don't know whether that is our issue, though. I suppose while we're looking at other stuff, we can wait for... Oops. We'll leave our bot really small there. Okay. We start the stream with like awesome demos working right away. Well, I didn't write those demos. And now we're going to break stuff. We got some time to get it working before I go. Okay, so we still have the same error with unable to play. So, where's our issue? So here we have our video test source is added, our queue, video convert, x264, FLV, another queue, and then our sync. That's fine. And then here we're linking our source to our queue, then to our video convert, and then to x264, then to FLV, then our queue, and Rtmp. Okay, so I'm gonna uncomment this, because I'm just curious here. We have a lot of stuff commented out right now. It's the same error. I'm missing a whole lot of people here. Thank you for the follows. Sick Will, Megamos, Belu, Jeffrey Millen, Aslan, LP Don, Mr. Damon Wolf, or Demon Wolf.
Someone finds you interesting, sir.
Yeah, you all are slacking. You're slacking. Yeah, somehow I think that my alerts here. We're gonna fix this.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
I don't like recognizing people when they are gracious enough to follow me.
Has been initiated. Abandoned ship.
So let's fix this.
Abandoned ship.
So I tried to update. There's a Streamlabs alert thing, Tell me this: are the notifications showing up on screen visually? Because maybe we're just not hearing them. So I'm gonna turn that off. And that off. I tried updating the alert box to play the sounds automatically, and it would appear that I broke something. Oh, you know what I did wrong? I know what I did wrong. Host. I think I was using technology wrong. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see. Test it.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Oh, that's kind of small.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
I was using text. All right, I have to mess with the size and fix it. But, I mean, I guess if I turn this off, we can get the normal sound. That'll be fine. And I'll play with getting these to work right later. At the very least, I will be able to hear it in my headphones. Okay. In theory, this should work now. All right. Thanks for the follow, ZZZP. Is that how you pronounce your name? Why use Rust for this project? Okay, so that's actually a really good question. So I am trying to learn Rust. There's a number of reasons I want to learn Rust, but there is actually a very specific reason for using Rust for this project. So if you're trying to do audio and video things, your two main libraries that almost everything uses across the board, especially for open source software, are FFmpeg and GStreamer. And those are both written in C and C++. And I don't want to write this in C or C++. And because it's real-time video streaming, I don't want any penalties for like calling out of, say, the language I use the most is Go. I don't want the penalties of calling from the Go runtime to C. That's actually really expensive. So in Rtmp switcher, Rtmp is the protocol that we're using currently to stream from OBS to Twitch. And so it's used for anything Facebook Live, YouTube, all of that stuff. Any type of live streaming is usually done over Rtmp. So what we want to be able to do is create a system where we can have multiple streamers push their Rtmp feed to some endpoint that's just sitting there, queued up. And then we have this switcher where we can preview all of these streamers' feeds and then say, hey, switcher, send streamer 1 to Twitch, send streamer 2 to YouTube. Or, hey, streamer 1's done streaming. We want you to switch over to streamer 2. And we want to be able to do it on a schedule too. If we don't want manual intervention. We also want the ability to say, hey, streamer 1 is done and streamer 2 doesn't come on for an hour. Let's play a video from our, some playlist and push that. So the users here basically get linear video. It's a TV station or a conference or something like that they could watch nonstop. So we have a particular use we're trying to use it for at Microsoft, but this is all going to be open source so that people can even use it for things like conferences, right? So if you wanted to host a technology conference, I'm currently working on trying to do, I organize GopherCon along with Brian Kettleson, and we're trying to go virtual this year too. So if this can get all working and solidified before then, we're going to use that. Live Coders Conference is another example, right? We could have a single Twitch stream that you stay on the whole time, and then we're back here. We switch to the MC who announces the next speaker. We switch to the next streamer, and all of that is seamless here. And if we can get all of this working, then we can theoretically in the future be able to do things like put lower thirds, right? So I could put a little box next to me because I know who I am and put my name there. I do work for Microsoft. What do you mean as well? Do you work for Microsoft too? They want to get those sweet, sweet pixels inserted into your eye holes in the most efficient way possible. Okay, so we have a broken pipeline. And why do we have it? State change error. You are not helpful. Oh, you just like the company. Okay. Yeah, there is a fair amount of live coders team or members that do work for Microsoft in the DevRel group. What's what you said? Oh, Seth. Will the switcher live in a container? Yes. So when we look at this diagram here, this will run in a container, and these will run in a container, and we currently have one of these already running. So this runs with less than one CPU unit because it doesn't need to do any transcoding. It's just repackaging it to HLS. So the streamer can be able to preview themselves, and we can also use this feed so that we can preview the streams before placing them live. So all of these things will live in containers in the cloud, and all of that stuff will work. If we want, we can, I can detour here for a second and I can show you the other part of this, which is, here, we'll just switch here. Oh, wow. Why do I have this open? Okay. So, yeah. So this is the start of what will be the front end for the switcher. So if we go to localhost 5000. Oh, this looks kind of ugly with my dark mode reader. So everybody, shield your eyes. So this is sort of what I'm thinking for the front end of the switcher. So this would show like a timeline, and I still have to do some more work on this. And this would show you all of the channels, right? So this would be like the Learn TV on Microsoft Docs. This would be like the Twitch channel. And these would be the shows that are lined up and scheduled. And the switcher would automatically do that. I haven't got to the Mixer tab, but this will be a way to visualize the channels and which inputs are coming in and map to the outputs. And then we have sort of like this ability to preview things. So if we click on one of these things, that'll slide out this preview window here. And we'll be able to see a live preview of what's on that streamer streaming that is not yet live. And we can get some information about like how far into their stream they are. And we're going to add a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let me catch up on chat here. That might be why Twitch recommends... Wait. That might be why Twitch recommended me to you, as I am a Microsoft fanboy, and they knew that they would hit me with this stream. Yeah, I'm a Microsoft person using all non-Microsoft technology. Yep, we are doing this all in Rust. Haha, automation and AR are a hell of a thing. Actually, Seth, whereas you just saw in the channel here, he is an AI person at Microsoft and ridiculously smart with that stuff. Rtmp is a real-time media protocol for transmitting audio and video across the internet in an extremely low latency way. But it is the protocol that all of the major platforms use that you do live streaming to. So, you know, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, all that good stuff. It's wild, but Microsoft seems like a pretty baller place to work. This is a pretty cool open source project. You get to build for them. Yeah, Microsoft is an awesome, awesome place to work. And I love the fact that they let me build stuff like this and do it completely in the open and give it away for free. We're going to be using it for our own platform. for stuff, but I love the fact that they're allowing me to build it in the open and that conferences and stuff like that can use it for free. I think Microsoft is really stepping up their open source game, and I love it. Which DE is this? I could never tell. Awesome i3. So this is i3 Window Manager. Only if Dark Reader worked on the player for the Twitch feels bad, man. Okay, let's see. What is going on with our thing here? You know, I think someone in the channel is bad luck. I feel like the last few streams, everything I try and build, I can't get working right. I think I've had less success in building software that runs properly on stream than any time in history. So I feel like one of you is bad luck. And I think you know who you are, because you probably have similar issues. That probably describes literally everybody in this channel right now. All right. So this isn't connecting, and that's fine. I expected that to be the case. So we do have some sort of issue here, though. And I'm really curious why. Can we get a better... Let's see. Let's go look at our message bus and see whether there's a way for us to get a better error. Bad joke, but a good one. All right. So, error received from element. We didn't get an issue on the... Okay, so we're literally just getting the new state. Message view. This is for end of stream. Yeah, I told somebody the other day that the thing about programming that I love is that it has the ability to make me feel like a complete idiot sometimes, like I'm unqualified to do this, and then at other moments just feel like a god. And sometimes those moments are within 5 minutes of each other. Like right now, I'm on the idiot side of things. I see the pipeline change from playing to error, but we don't see why.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Thanks for the follow, Flash. Okay. What's going on? Why can't we get any of these to work? Let's see if we can cut out the mux. Let's see if we can cut out the mux.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Thanks for the follow, H Nazem. Is that how you pronounce that? When it comes to video, Aslan says, "Oh my God, that's so true." Cowtail says, "When it comes to video encoding, decoding, and streaming that data to a server and then to a client makes no sense to me." Well, hang out for the ride, Cowtail, because we've gone over it a couple of times, but I will continue going through it, and we're all on a journey to learn even more about it than we already know. Later, McCann. Half the time I'm like, I totally understand this, woo, and then rando bug happens and I have no idea what I'm doing. Same thing, same. Zone of proximal development. Going to file for unemployment, lost my job as the... Going to file for unemployment, lost my job as the part-time stream sound guy. Okay. I think I got the sounds working though. It's amazing though, because it's a really important thing to learn to do, because so much content is through streaming video. It is, right? So that's a really interesting point, Cowtail. So online video is increasingly becoming the way people consume content. And so YouTube is like the #2 search engine in the world. And so many people are doing this. Every industry, I firmly believe that the tech industry that this is going to be a big thing. Right now, there's not a ton of coding streamers, but I think in 2 to 5 years, that's going to be a totally different story. And so there's not many people in the world who are experts at this stuff. So I feel like anybody who can get a handle on this and build this stuff, you know, is in for a really good career. I just did a month ago. Have fun. Have you seen Mun? It's a very new AOT compiled language made to be hot reloadable. I have not. I need to remember to look at that. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is, we're gonna use this one from earlier. Let's just see if we can get this sort of working. So now we should be able to, all of this stuff is not gonna matter.
Intruder alert. An unauthorized connection has been detected.
Mr. Halsey, thanks so much for the raid. What's going on? What were you working on in your stream? Thanks for the follow, Shishak.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Okay, so we're gonna cut all of this out and see whether we can just get this working. Trying to get async to work in GD native. Did you succeed? Oh, FLV mux not found. Oh. Because we also need to remove here. There you go. I was making yield substitute. It's mostly working, getting Godot to panic. I want to spend more time watching your stream too, because it looks really interesting with the game building with Russ. All right. Later, Mr. Demon Wolf. All right. Internal data stream. Reason not any. What is not negotiated? Okay, so we have an issue with we have an issue with two of our elements not supporting the same format. I'll have to catch this VOD. I want to use GStreamer exactly like you were doing here. What do you mean, Mr. Halsey? Like to do like an Rtmp switcher thing, or you just want to be able to use it through Rust? And I'll let you know when we get a little further too. I'm like still fumbling around a little bit with this stuff too. So, yeah, okay, yeah, you want to use the Rust binding. So yeah, I'm still fumbling around a little bit with this stuff too and figuring it out, but I've used it on the command line quite a bit. I'm a little rusty. It's been a couple of years since I've done that stuff, but so I'm still getting kind of familiar with it and learning Rust while doing this. So it's kind of interesting. Oh, Rocker Boo, or if you just do project, it has a link to that diagram if that's what you're looking for. Yeah, I keep saying rusty, and I don't actually mean it as a pun. It's just the word I go to when. All right, later, Mr. Halsey. Okay, so our issue here is let's skip the X264 encoder real quick and see what we get.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Thanks for the follow, Senior K. Okay, so that works. Okay. So this is not on GitHub yet. So it will be. We will be launching this on GitHub. But if we look for GStreamer RS, the GStreamer bindings, I guess they have it on GitLab. I know they have it on GitHub too. Yeah, I'll just pull it up on GitLab. So the GStreamer bindings are all there. And if you, I'll just link to the directory. If you go under the tutorials section and source bin here, these are a bunch of examples here of using the GStreamer bindings, or the Rust bindings for GStreamer. They basically come from the GStreamer tutorial that's all done in C. These are the Rust kind of implementations of those. So there's a link to that. And what we're playing with now is just trying to take some of those examples and build our own pipeline and kind of explore that API and see if we can get it working. And then once we do that, then we're going to start working on how to like build this into a mixer and things like that. So this will be a long running project. I'll probably stream at least 3 days a week while we work on it. So feel free to come in and out as you please and check in and see where it's at. And as soon as we get like even a little piece of it working, I'll put it on GitHub. Everybody can contribute. Okay, so this works. So the auto video sync, I guess, does not like the H.264 encoder, because when we try to link that X264 encoder, that's when we get our negotiation thing. And so, yeah, so this is our not negotiated error. So the issue here is this probably needs some sort of raw format, and we can check by doing a, let's see. I saw that state diagram, etc. was, what was that? And now it's gone on same link. Do you mean this? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, not that one. Which thing are we talking about? Thanks for the follow, Kraz. Or Kraz? Which way do you pronounce it? Kraz NK or Kraz? Are you just talking about like one of the example pipelines we were looking at earlier? Are you talking about one of these that we were looking at? I've been working on getting Oculus VR headsets working with Rust, and it's been a pain. So yeah, if you just search like the images or something on Google for GStreamer pipeline, you'll get some of these kind of examples. Oh, it's not that also. I don't know what other diagram we were looking at. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. If we look at GST inspect and we look for our auto video sync, then we can come down here and look for our capabilities. Okay. So it should be video X raw. Okay, so that's our issue. So if we do a GST inspect on our X264 encoder, so here's our source. So coming out of it is video X H264. So that was our issue with that. I don't know whether everybody kind of understands that. So remember, this source side of it, you have to think about it in reverse. It's really freaking confusing. So this is if another element is trying to get data from you, they are sourcing it from you. So your source pad is where they're pulling their info. Your sync pad is where they're sending their info. So you got to kind of invert your thinking. So this source pad here is where the auto video sync is going to be trying to pull its data from. And we can see here that its capability is video XH264. So that's what's coming out. But on the sync side, so that's where the data is coming into this plugin or this element, is video X raw. And so that's our issue, is that our auto video sync wanted wanted video X raw. And that's why that encoder doesn't work there. Now, if we look at our FLV mux, we can see here that the audio can do a variety of things. So it can do audio X raw, right? So that's fine. It could do MPEG. So, yep. And then on the video side, we can do H.264. So we still need to figure out why that was not working. Okay. So let's see if we can get this working again. I have so much commented out code here. Oh. All right. So this is all working. So now we could get this going into the X264 encoder, right? So we already added the X264 encoder, and we need our Rtmp sync back. Okay, what do we have going on here? So this is our video test source. We don't need all that right now. Okay. So we have our source, which is our test source for now. We have a queue. We have our video convert into our X264 encoder. I should really just call that X264. Okay. And we need to change all these from where we copy and pasted. Video convert. Man, Pretzel Rocks is just lately. Okay. I don't even know how many times I have to restart it in one stream. Okay. So, unused. Oh, right. Because this is not what we're using right now. This is the auto one that we just did. I mean, we can get rid of that. And then here's our FLV mux, and then the queue going out the other side, and then our video sync. Okay. So here, we need to make sure we add all this stuff. We can't send the X264 directly. Let's skip the queues for now. Can we send... Let's try and skip the video convert too. Let's see if we can just trim down the pipeline. Even if the video is choppy or something weird, let's see whether we can just get it flowing. So we've got our source connected to our X264 encoder. So we're not going to have any audio because we haven't demuxed this. Is that going to be our issue? Oh no, because it's video anyway, so we don't need to demux it. We're going to need to demux it when we start grabbing it from another type. Okay, so we need to send this into our FLV mux. And all right, let's just... So here we're going to link our source to our...
Sir, I believe this person has
X264.
Are you quite sure they can be trusted?
What's going on, TS Jost? X264 Inc. Okay. And then that encoder is going to link to the FLV mux, and then we're going to take that FLV container and send it to our Rtmp sync. And then we hope this works. Everybody cross your fingers. How can you be so productive with many languages in your toolbox? I'm more productive in some languages than others. So like Rust, for example, we inevitably will trip up against lots of things I'm not familiar with in Rust. Right now, we're just kind of doing basic things, but I'm sure as we get into kind of abstracting these things out into their own types and implementing traits and things like that, and especially when we bump up against lifetimes, I'm gonna have some trouble. But yeah, I'm really productive in Go, you know, and everything else it just depends. But I feel like, you know, once you understand programming really well, it's fairly easy to kind of pick it up in another language. Okay. So, still unable to set the pipeline playing state. This is not a helpful message. Let's see if we can construct this on our own. So let's do a GST launch, and then we're going to try and do this. So let's take a video test source, and we're going to pipe that into a X264 encoder, and then we're going to pipe that into an FLV mux, right? And we want to set the streamable equal to true for that one. And then we're just going to send that out to an Rtmp Sync. And the location is Rtmp learn TV dot. Now I forget what this is. eastus.azure container. eastus.azurecontainer.io/live/stream key. And that is playing. Are you kidding me? What? What is this? What is this? Yeah, so what you're looking at is the video test source, and it's just so that you don't have to like read in files and random things while you're trying to build pipelines. You can just sort of like put this video test source as your source element. So how do you choose to code in X language instead of Y language? What are your considerations? I mean, the thing you do in Rust pretty much can be done in C, C++, perhaps Go. Yeah, so TS Joss, to answer your question, yes and no. It worked running the pipeline using the command line version of this, right? So we're clearly missing something here. To answer your question, HSN, is it really depends. Like if I have to build an API server or a command line utility, I'm probably going to write it in Go. I'm the most productive with it. It's, you know, really straightforward. You know, I've been doing Go for almost 10 years now, so it's just sort of what I lean to. If I'm just writing quick scripts or something like that, you know, Bash, Python, you know, I'll look to that stuff. Sometimes Go. The particular reason I'm using Rust for this is because I really need to interoperate with C and C++ with like minimal to no overhead, and I can't do that with Go. And I'm not comfortable enough in C or C++ to both write something that's secure and stable to do what this is supposed to be doing. And I figure I'm rusty enough with C++. I'd have to kind of relearn that anyway, especially since the standards and everything, things have changed so much. They've introduced so much more stuff. And if I have to learn something to get better at it, I might as well learn like a newer language that people are kind of doing this stuff in. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so this is, you are not making me happy. Because if we look at how we've linked our pipeline, okay. So ignore GST launch because that's just the command to send it the pipeline. But we have a video test source piped into an X264 encoder, piped into an FLV mux with the streamable property set to true, sent out to a video sync, whose location is the location set. Did we set the location? We didn't set the location, did we? Oh. C++ is too much to learn, and legacy stuff is C is very small though. Yeah, so when I do hardware stuff, it's mostly in C. And I should add, I'm not amazing at C either.
Sir, maybe technology's not your strong suit. Perhaps a career in professional sandwich artistry?
That's what I'm thinking, Rocker Boo. Although I don't know whether I'm great at making sandwiches either, so I think I found our issue. I mean, aside from the fact that I'm an idiot. So here we set streamable to true on this Rtmp Sync. This should be on our FLV mux. That is the thing we want set streamable to true. And here we need location, and we need that set to Rtmp. Oops. Okay. So this is Rtmp URI. URI? There we go. Yep, I know you're not used yet. We're gonna ignore you for now. So, was that our issue the whole time? How much time did we lose on that, everybody? I feel like that was a lot of time we lost on that. Of course it couldn't figure out how to stream when we weren't telling it the location it needed to stream to. All right. Now let's try to put all of the other crap back.
Sir, please. It is not only your reputation at stake here. Do be careful.
Okay, so let's bring all of this back. All right, so this is our URI decode bin, convert, resample. I'm gonna leave this stuff out. Let's not do anything with the audio just yet. We don't need. Wait. Okay. Bear with me, everybody. Okay. So we're not going to do anything with the audio yet. We've got our test source. We don't need that anymore. We'll leave the queues and converts and stuff alone for now. But we're not going to use them. So now we need to go to our pipeline, and we've got all of this. Is that right still? We could. I plan on doing some more streams for. I plan on doing some more streams for working on the bot. We totally could change the lights based on maybe just whether or not the last command I ran was a success. All right. Let's see. All right. So we have our source. Oops. So this is. Oh no, that's where we're gonna get the video from. We're gonna leave those alone. FLV mux, video sync. Okay. Wait, we lost. Okay, here's the URI for the thing that's gonna play. No, so we did have that set before. We did have that set before when it wasn't working. Is that, I don't think that's an ordering issue. Let's just move it up just in case. So video sync setting location to Rtmp URI. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here now we have our source. This is likely gonna blow up on us, but yeah. Ooh. Panic that elements could not be linked on line 59. So what can't be linked? Do we need to do a video convert here? I think we might need to do the video convert here. And video convert and video convert. Failed to link elements. Which elements could not be linked? We didn't really change much. So it has to be, because our video test source could be linked, right? So this is not Oh My ZSH theme. This is, no. What is, yeah, Starship. I thought it was IO. Starship. Starship.rs. There we go. And it's written in Rust. All right. Oh, because we still had that tab open. Okay, so that, yeah, that's not working. So where are we going wrong with all this? Oh, here we go. Property URI of type G. Oh. That's because, here. Okay, so that's working. Let's give this a second for it to pick up. So that's working. So it has something to do with, here. Let's see, can we put the Q in there? Oh, wait, that worked. This might take a second. Oh, wait, we didn't change back to the other thing. That's... So it is working because it's still the video test source, right? So... So what is the issue here? Failed to link elements. Why? Line 62. All right, let's do our GST inspect and see what we can figure out here. So, oh, again, I'm an idiot. Okay, so our issue here is we can't link source. We can't link source directly. Well, one, that needs to be there. Okay, so source we need to add to the pipeline, but we can't link it. So we need to come down here to this logic we removed. Okay, and then when it's video, we need to find the Q source. Convert not found in the scope. Oh, because we didn't. Let's leave audio out for now. We'll fix audio next. Okay. Failed to get static sync pad from FLV Mux. Does it not have a static pad? Was that the issue we had before? Because I don't think we have the ability to just link it. I just noticed my LSP is not working. Can I just pass it? It needs a pad. Okay. So I can't just pass it. Failed to get static pad. What am I missing? Is that gonna work? All right, we have video. So now our container that's running out in the cloud is receiving RTMP from something. So in theory, we could also connect to it using RTMP to do something else. So, but for now, you know, we're gonna take this win. Now let's see if we can get audio, because we can see here we've got no speaker. So we've got no audio. So let's figure out what's going on here now. So at this point, this is where we get notified that a new pad was added, and it is of audio type XRAW. I'm gonna skip all this audio convert, audio resample, and let's just try to connect it directly to the FLV Mux. We can add in some more cues and stuff like that. I mean, I suppose we could probably add that here. Let's add our Q sync. Q sync. And we need to, for a little buffering, we're going to leave all the audio stuff out. We do need our, no, let's see if we can just connect it. So this is our video. Here's where our audio pad comes in. And let's try to just grab it off of the FLV mux. And is it still called sync? Oops. Okay.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Thanks for the follow, James freaking Carr. I think that encourages people to have funnier names. Like, there's something about reading a username like that you can't just say it just with no emotion. Okay, so oh, that's because we just said the word convert there. Right, but we have sync here. So where do we get that pad from? I don't think it's called audio. I always forget what the API to this stuff looks like. Yeah. Failed to get static pad. So we need to try and make sense of this. And here's where my knowledge of GStreamer kind of goes crazy. The other thing I'd like to do is also start doing a T thing where we can split this and play the video locally as well as send it out over to Rtmp. So if we have time, we're going to do that. But first, let's see if we can get audio and video working at the same time. So here's our source templates. So is there more than one sync pad? Availability on request. So now I wonder, can we do just audio? Is that our issue? Is that it's sort of one or the other and we need to try and request a pad? And this is sort of like where my knowledge of the GStreamer API from a code perspective starts being a mismatch. Yeah, every streamer I follow, that's the response I get at this point. I should just change my middle name. I mean, you should do it everywhere, James. I mean, if you go to Starbucks and you get a coffee and they ask you your name, you should tell them it's James freaking Carr, and then they will announce it too when your coffee's ready. Ooh, splitting too. Yeah, Rocker Boost. So there is an element called a T, which allows us to split it into two paths in the pipeline. And that's the really cool thing I love about GStreamer. And once we get a little further, we'll be able to start doing some really creative stuff. As soon as I figure out how to get audio and video both going out this FLV mux. And the part that bothers me the most is I know that I've got this working before, a couple of weeks ago. And then I sidelined to a different part of it, building that whole front end thing. And then I set the code aside and I was like, I'm just going to start over because that was really just an experiment. And then here I am figuring out the same stuff I spent, I don't even know how many hours figuring out before. But that's okay. We're learning together. Okay. So I think that there's just I think our issue here is the fact that we just have one pad and there's sort of like this requesting pad thing. So we're going to go look at examples. If this works and it's just sort of like one or the other, then I know that there's a way for some of these where you can get more than one pad. And that's because, remember, we talked about the container being multiplex streams. And a stream is audio, a stream is video, a stream is captioning. So it could have a number of those things, right? We could be sending 2 audio channels in different languages. So I just have not played with that part of the API where we request that. So let's see. Is that right? Nope. This is not audio. This is sync. All right. Cargo run. Failed to get static sync pad from... Interesting. Wait, because we're pushing it into the queue here. We're not trying to get it on the FLV mux. So that was our issue before. And I think the queue just has one, right? Let's look. GST inspect. No. Queue. Alright, so we have a source and we have a sync. And that's it. And then we have some signals that we can catch for like overruns and underruns, which we might leverage later. So let's sideline for a second here, and let's go look at some of the example code, because I know that there's some examples there. So let's just go. Well, I mean, I suppose we could leave this open and just do it in the browser, because then we pull. No, I closed it. All right. Code, GStreamer, tutorials, basic, nope, source, basic, bin, there we go. And then basic, let's look at 2. Basic 3, or we copied from 3. Okay, so yeah, this is all the auto stuff. I don't think this has a mux example. Basic 5. Wait, which one are we in? We're in. All right, basic 4. All right, custom data. Let's see. Now we're using our play bin. So we're just getting some messages off the... Okay, so this is like seeking around. That's not what we want. This is getting stream information. So we're kind of pulling tags off of it. That's not what we want. I mean, useful, but not exactly the problem we're trying to solve at the moment. All right, basic. This is printing the capabilities about a pad. All right, so this is just looking for the capabilities. And so I always see this get static pad. But how do we request one? basic 7. Oh, here we go. So Rocker Boo, here's an example here. So here's our T, right? So our audio source and a T, an audio cue, convert, resample, video sync, video cue, visual. And so this is actually going to do like a wave convert. So, oops. So if we go back up, we can do a tutorial. No, target. Where am I? So target, debug, basic, 7. Oh, that's loud. I did that to everybody yesterday too. My bad. My bad. Forgive me. If it makes you feel better, it was just as loud in my headphones as it was probably in yours. Okay. So here we are actually doing like a whole T thing, right? Because it's taking the audio and splitting it. Well, it's setting it through a conview, resampling it, but it's splitting the audio in two, and one of them is going towards the channel for it to be played out the speakers, and the other one is going to the visualization. Okay. Oh, this is what we want. And Pretzel Rocks crashed again. Does anybody have a counter for that? At this point, we may need to make a stream where we just create a script to reboot it every time. So this is exactly what I'm looking for. We need this. Bot, tell Eric to track random things. Yeah, we just need like a maybe like a command that's like counter I don't know. Pretzel crash. Or maybe just an increment. Right? And then you just keep doing that. And then we can say count pretzel crash or something, right? Okay. So so we found the part that I was missing. Okay. I knew that was handled differently. So switcher, nvim, source main. Okay, and let's just open that up as an example. GStreamer RS tutorials, source bin basic 7, source underscore. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, or that. That would work too. Okay, so this is what we need. And we need to clean up all of that crap. Okay, so if we come down here, we've already got video commented out. So here we go. So we need to do sync pad, and we want FLV mux get request pad, and this should be sync underscore u, and yeah, I know it's unused, and we actually want the expect. Okay. I don't think this is needed because we're requesting a new pad. So oh, we still crash. Failed to get static sync pad from convert. What are you talking about? Why can we not request a pad from it? Okay, I'm clearly missing something again. Oh, wait. Is it audio? I know that I've done this before. That's what's driving me mad right now. And Yeja says, "Hi there. Started following recently. I appreciate your contribution in terms of Rust. I've got one question regarding viewpoint of Rust by Microsoft. Are there employees who work on Rust projects daily in Microsoft? And what's your opinion about recent dramatic changes in Rust team in Mozilla?" Yeah, what's in my OPSEC? I do. I have the code. It's just on a USB stick from when I reloaded this tower. And I didn't think I would need it. At least I hope it's there. I didn't think I'd need it because I had figured this stuff out and it was just this. It was sample code, right? It wasn't like the project itself I was working on. So worst case, when the stream's over, I'll dig it out. I'll figure it out. We'll fix it for a stream Monday. Yeah, I can't remember everything. The front end stuff took me a little longer than I thought, and then I was doing some other stuff, so it just sort of slipped my mind that I had figured this stuff out. So, but to answer your question, I'm fairly new to Rust. I do have counterparts inside Microsoft who do a lot more Rust than I do. That are much more intimately familiar with that. But from my understanding, there are actually a number of teams inside of Microsoft that are using Rust. I can leave it to him to answer those. You can follow him here. He streams sometimes too. He's Ryan Levick. Yeah. I mean, my understanding is there's been talks about Rust being like donated to a foundation or something. If that's what your concern was about the Mozilla shift. I don't know about Microsoft hiring people from that stuff. Okay, this is going to drive me nuts. I know that I've done this. It's failing to get the pad. Oh wait, I said source. Why did I say that? What am I missing here? We might have to Stack Overflow it. So it does have a pad template for source. Sync template audio. Source template source. Sync template audio. sync template video, pads source. I don't know why I thought you would know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not hiring for people doing Rust, so I wouldn't be very familiar. And I mean, Microsoft has like 160,000 employees, so knowing who's being hired and for what gets really difficult for any one member of the team. Let's see. Rust teams were fired by Mozilla recently. They're looking for a new journey as far as I know. Yeah. I'm worried about Firefox support too. Yeah, I think there's, it's going to take a little time to sort all of that stuff out. All right, so... All right, let's... There might be some in the examples too. App sync, app source, decode bin, discoverer, pad probes. All right, let's look at transmux real quick. Here's our sync. Here's our muxer. Okay. Here we go. Handle demux pad added. Yeah, get request pad. Do we have to link to the queue? Is that our issue? No, because the queue comes before video convert. All right. Now that we requested a sync pad fitting our needs from the multi-queue, the multi-queue automatically created a fitting source pad on the other side. Sync and source pads are linked internally, so we can iterate this internal link chain. Oh, so that's just trying to find the other side of it to connect to the muxer. So that's not what we're looking for. Let's look at pad probes. Get by name. Oh, that's the pipeline, right? That's where we get the static pad off of it. Oh, this is probing the pad for information. We may have to Stack Overflow it. I don't know why we can't. Can we do it for Q? Q source. No. This should blow up. I just want to test this and see what happens here, because I think the queue allows us to have multiple kind of interesting. So in this case, we're not able to get it. But here, this worked. But we haven't done anything for it to know the type that it needs to be, so why is that failing? You want to be cool with nerd fonts, but it's not working? Did you install nerd fonts? So this is working. But how does it know? So we just need to find a way to get our audio linked up. So this is audio X raw. Oh, wait a second. No, it's supposed to take an audio X raw. Okay, never mind. I thought for a second maybe it didn't take X raw. Are we able to? Okay. Audio convert, audio resample. Okay, so let's also do a add our audio convert and our, was it audio resample? Audio resample? It's just called convert and resample. Okay. And then we can do a GST element, link, many. And we want to link our audio or our convert to our resample, and we want to connect that to our FLV mux. Okay. So then in theory, we should be able to come down here. go to our convert and get our static pad. Okay, we still don't have sound though. So that did not work. We don't have errors. We don't have errors, but we don't have sound. The JetBrains mono ones. Yeah, you have to change your font. You have to use the patched font. I'm still curious, why can't we connect that directly to the FLV mux? Oops. So why... Where's convert? The convert, resample. Convert, resample, FLV mux. So we should be connecting to convert. Convert should be connected to resample. So why do we not have audio? I mean, I'm happy that we have no errors. They seem to link successfully, but I'm not so happy with the fact that we have no audio. Oh, have we just maybe not got to a point in our manifest file with the new data? I don't see why that wouldn't work though. Why are you not working? I'm going to blame it on McCann. McCann's not here, so it's McCann's fault. This is going to drive me nuts, too. I'm emailing all of you personally, whispering all of you personally. I'm going to get a list of everybody in the chat and be like, I fixed it. Kidding, kidding. Have your weekends to yourself. Okay, what is going on here? You know, I should also, for while we're working on this project, I should also set up a thing in the bot to link this. Because I feel like enough people are going to ask, and that's probably a cool link to send everybody. Still don't understand why we're not getting... I need a new WebM file. Because we're still playing here. Whoa. Alright, hls slash stream key dot m3u8. Oh, yeah. I need to set up this so that it clears the manifest file after the there we go. I want it to clear the manifest file afterward. That way, if we go to hit it, we know we're reading the new manifest file and not like a cached version of it. Okay. Yeah, so this is a new one because we're only at 9 seconds here, but we still don't have audio. So our FLV mux still does not have it. We'll leave that there for reference. We're going to leave this here just because we may swap that out. No, because we have video going. We can get rid of that. So source, convert, resample, Q source, video convert. Okay. We have all of these. Convert, links to resample, links to FLV mux. We get no errors there. When we discover our audio pad, find a pad with audio X raw. We try to grab the sync pad on the convert. And then we link that to the source pad. Okay. And we succeed. So why no audio? See if new pad source 0 from source. Succeeded video. Okay. You want your own command to add commands? Yeah, we'll go ahead and add that. Video intro. There we go. All right. There we go. Video intro. All right. What is your deal? Oh, I'm looking at, that's not even the right code. You go away. That's... I still want to know why we can't connect directly to the FLV mux. I know that I have done that. Right, I want to see FLV mux get pad get pad. Something's up with my autocomplete too. Get pad. Can I just spit this out? Can I just do a debug? Does that work? Get pads. let's do that. I haven't done this in like Rust and everything, so debugging is still confusing to me. Okay, so we have an aggravator pad, FLV mux pad. Let's see. Let's just look at, what does FLV mux tell us? Oh. Okay, so that doesn't really tell us anything useful. Link succeeded. What? What did I break? Because that's just the audio. I don't see why that debug statement should have broken the video. And now we have video here. Wait, what? So why can't we request a pad? Why can't we request a pad? FLV mux dot request pad, 3 arguments. Ooh, what is that? It's an Rtmp Sync 0. Get request pad. Yeah, see, this is what I'm looking for. But we tried that. Encode.bin, line 195. I think we need to increment that counter. Yep, we need to increment the counter. It crashed again. So that's exactly how that's supposed to work. FLV mux dot get request pad video %u dot expect could not failed to get video pad from FLV mux. Hey, Christomator, what's going on? Okay, so that's not working. And I don't think it's a sync. Nope, that's not it. It's not a static pad though. It should be a request pad. And it is named audio, right? So like same thing, if we look at encode bin, if we close this out and we do a GST inspect on encode bin, we should see it look almost exactly the same, right? So here's our pad templates. sync template private underscore u, sync template audio underscore u, video percent u. Okay, so now let's do one on our FLV mux. And we have sync template audio. Is it just a naming thing? Because their sync template's just audio. Pad template, sync template, private U. Is that really it? No. So confused. For two reasons. One, why we can't get this requested pad. And two, why we have all of our audio stuff linked and it's not actually working. So there is a there's an environment variable. Let's look it up. GStreamer environment variable generate graph is. Okay. This is what we want. Do I even have Graphiz installed? Guess we're gonna find out. Sudo pacman -s Graphiz. All right. And I guess we need to export, and we're just gonna put it here. Then in theory, we should be able to run this. All right. I don't see. Do we have to use GST launch for that? I bet you it doesn't work for the Rust bindings. Boo. So we do have a way of generating this. Let's see. There we go. This is what we want. Play bin dot where's it spitting it to? Generate a dot graph of the pipeline to GST. Oh, okay, it's saying it to that directory. Okay. So okay. So let's generate that. I think that'll be helpful to figure out kind of what's going on here. I'm just gonna open it here so we kind of have it for reference. So this was in our code, GStreamer, RS, examples, source, play bin, right? Source bin, play bin. Okay. And so dot. So this is what we want. Where's bin ref? What is bin ref? Oh. What's playbin? Playbin, is it just the name of our... that's just the name of our pipeline. Okay, perfect. So let's just do this. After we start playing, let's spit this out. And ours is just called pipeline. Let's do that. Uh-oh. Okay. Could not compile. The trait GST prelude is not implemented for GST bin. Do I need to do all this? Can I just do play? Can I just do pipeline? Does that work? All right, there we go. All right, graph is. Oh, I always forget this. Is it just... Let's see. I haven't used graphics in a while. Is it really just... Yeah, type. That's right. That's right. So we want dot, right? Minus T. We want, I don't know, SVG play dot. We want that to go to I don't know what it's called. Playing dot SVG. All right, apparently I don't have Ranger configured. What's the, whoa. All right, apparently I do, and I just didn't realize it. How many did I open? How many did I open? There's so many. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, so we have our HTTP source going into a sync of our find element, and then the source of that is, I don't see where that's going. I mean, it has to be connecting somewhere. All right, so we have a queue here. Is that just here? Okay. So we have our queue source. It's going into our video convert. We're using video X raw. Okay. And then we have audio convert. So it looks like this is connecting to this audio convert too. And oh, that's just because we have a queue here in the beginning. Okay. So the difference is the audio goes straight from here. The video goes to this queue first. Then we send this through resampling. That is going into the FLV mux.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Thanks for the follow, Ness. Florudi? Is that how you pronounce that? So that's going out. And then all of that's going to a queue, which goes to an Rtmp sync. So, what's your deal? Am I just missing a connection here. Oh. Yeah, that's gonna be a little more confusing to read. So and let's do something really quick. Let's modify our code to not connect the audio. So at this case, at this point, what we'll do is, oops. So we basically disconnected the audio. It's not going to link it anymore. It's going to say it linked it. And then we'll stop it, and then I guess we can do it and xdg open playing.svg. This looks the same. This looks the same. So do we not have... Are we not hitting here? Oh no, well we knew we weren't going to hit there, right? Because that's our audio convert plugin. However, if we uncomment this out and we rerun all of this, and now let's look at our SVG again. I don't see a difference. These look the same to me. But I mean, I don't see the video, right? So this is the encoder coming from video convert. Thanks for the follow, Augusto. So we have this video convert and we see the cue coming into it. So we don't see the connections here.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Thanks for the follow, Rocky. Okay, so now I'm really curious here where our issue lies. Because these are exactly the same. So let's do this. I'm going to call it quits here in just a couple of minutes, but here's what I want to do. We've got this convert going into the resample, and the resample flows into the FLV mux. So here's what I want to do. Let's see if we can take just a we'll just call this audio. We want an audio test source. We're just going to name it audio test source really quick too. Audio test source. This will generate just a random sine wave or something. Okay, so we're going to take that, and then let's remove this connectivity for the audio here. And let's see if we just manually link this up, whether we get it out on the FLV mux. So we're going to skip this whole pad linking thing here and see whether we can just come here and group these. That's audio. Okay. I'm going to say and audio. And then we're going to come in here and we're just going to see whether this works. Audio. Okay, so that's playing. Okay, so this is something I think with the linking to the FLV mux. Because we're skipping everything here. We basically skipped all of our own like manual linking logic and created all of these things and then used the link thing here to link the audio to there. So actually let's look at the generated graph is here too. Okay, so here is our audio test source. We can see is connected here. Does that have anything to do with our queue? Let's remove our queue. I'm going to try that really quick. Let's remove our queue here. And try this really quick. That timing is wrong. All right, let's kill this and give that a second to clear out, because I think we're still playing some old segments from that manifest file. We can, however, look at what that looks like. Why do we have two queues? Oh, that's the other queue that sits unused. Okay. So this is our video queue, audio, flowing into our audio convert and video convert, okay, resampling. So that still works the same way. What am I missing? I might do like a regular I might do like one of the basic examples and spit out its graph is and see what a working one is supposed to look like. Because this yeah, you can do that too. So actually one of the things I did was, oh, did I remove that? Where's my working one? Where is it? GST launch here. This terminal I already have that graph is. So is that a new one? Oh, there we go. That's all right. So now we want 03 35 35. No, that's not what I want. I don't want pause. There we go. Okay, so their test source. Oh, so this is from the test source though. This isn't from So this is video only. So I need a example of, oh, I know where we can get one. No, because that, does that send audio too? Long day. Is it one? Oops. Yeah, that's just going through there. That's not using, that's what we want. URI decode bin. I don't think that's gonna send audio though. But we'll try it. So here, let's get rid of our video test source. And let's just do a URI decode bin, and its URI equals, we need okay, yeah, we don't have sound here either. All right, I'm gonna have to mess with this. I think it is about time I call it a day. It's been a long day, and this is starting to annoy me. And I know I can pull up the code where I got this working too. Before I call it quits for the day, does anybody have any questions? Sound fried. But I will find the code today or over the weekend. I will be back Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We will continue working on this. Hopefully, with any luck, I will have the working code that I have laying around, and we can see whether we can get it working. Because I'd like to have, once we kind of get this example, then we can start cleaning it up and we can start playing with the idea of mixing videos and stuff. Slick Will, I appreciate that. I have a lot of fun doing this. I'm really glad I kind of started doing this. I love coding, solving hard problems. To some degree, it gets exhausting, but I love turning coding into a social thing too. So this is a lot of fun for me. I love everybody hanging out, contributing ideas. Does anybody have any questions for stuff? Is anybody that's currently in the channel new that was not watching when I did like the overview of kind of what we're building or how some of this stuff works under the hood? I'm happy to do that or just chit chat for a couple of minutes before I sign off. We should probably start trying to find somebody to raid too. Let's see, who do we got? I guess we can look at, I always forget, is it live coders or the live coders? I was right. We can raid Anthony Writes Code. I don't think we've raided him before. Unless anybody has any other votes. I need to make notes about what? Oh, wait. No, that was like way earlier. That was weird. All right, everybody. Well, this has been a blast. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a long-running project, so we'll be here working on it. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 to 4 Eastern, I will be on and working on this stuff. And then occasionally I'll throw in an extra day or late at night or a weekend. I'll probably next week throw in a few nights in the evening, working on the bot for the channel a little bit too. But nobody has any questions. let's raid Anthony Writes Code. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I'll see you on Monday.
Someone finds you interesting, sir. It appears we have a new follower.
Good luck, have fun. Make gaming inclusive for everyone. Oh, I see. Yo, Eric.dev with a rate of 42 people. Eric.dev, welcome to the Stream Raiders. I guess we'll take a detour from this. I will let me give you a shout.